Welcome to the Daily Draft, where we take Magic one draft at a time. My name is Morgan, and I am your host. We are in a brand new format today. This is Legendary Cube. All of the creatures in it are legendary, and there are a lot of legendary-centric cards in it as well. So yeah, we're going to see how it goes. It's going to be awesome, right? Right? Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'll see you when we get a few more people in the queue. Alright, here we are with pick one, pack one. We've got a couple of options here. There is Dragonlord Silumgar. You know him, you love him, control magic on a 3/5 stick with a sick necklace. There's also Venser Shaper Savant, Seaside Citadel, my favorite first pick in Cube. Arid Mesa and Mountain Valley are great. Kodama's Reach is great. Dethrone. That Marchesa is actually pretty sweet. Like, I'd consider taking Marchesa too. I think it's kind of between these two right now. Like, I like Silumgar a lot, so I think we're gonna take him. But if Marchesa wheels, we will definitely be on the Marchesa plan. Alright. So here, it's pretty easily just the Simic Signet. Taking Mana Rocks early is pretty good. There's also a Cruel Ultimatum, but I've already got some top end, and I like Signets, so we're going to take that. There's Forbidden Alchemy here. Yeah, we're just going to take the Simic Signet. Here there's a Mind Stone, there's a Sidisi, Silence the Believers, that's removal, Kaiga. So it's between Mind Stone and Sidisi, and I think I want to take the Sidisi. Sidisi's pretty sweet. We're gonna sort these by color from now on, because sorting by, like, rarity does not do anything. Zuri, whenever you turn, put X1... This is pretty sweet, but yeah, I just want a Sidisi. I'll take the Zuri if he wheels. Here, I'm pretty easily just taking the Underground Sea. Taking Mana Fixing is really good in Cube in general. Repeal and Tribute Hunger are fine. Radiant Judgment is pretty sweet. Iganjo Castle is great too. But yeah, we're just gonna take the Underground Sea. There's also Staff of Nin in there. Jeez. Here, I think I just take the Crumbling Necropolis. Sig is pretty sweet, but Crumbling Necropolis fixes for Grixis. There's also Terrarion, which filters. But yeah, Crumbling Necropolis is a reasonable mana fixer, and I think in a deck with like some sweet blue-black cards, having mana come into play tapped isn't as impactful as it would be in, like, potentially a normal cube. Here, let's see. There's a Toxic Deluge, Temple of Malady, Contagion Clasp, interesting. Shizo. There's also Phage. Phage is a pretty sweet finisher. I think I just take the Temple of Malady here. Again, mana fixing is important. Allows you to play whatever you want. Okay, so there's a Rakdos Carnarium, a Vendetta, a Beacon of Tomorrows, Blasphemous Act, Rexiel the Risen Deep. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from that player's graveyard without playing its mana cost. This guy is a 5/8, which is pretty big. There's also a Pernicious Deed, which might be pretty good. There's also just like a Taiga, which I think is a pretty reasonable pickup. I think it's between Vendetta and Taiga, and I think I just want the Taiga. There's a Chromatic Sphere, Experiment Crage. It's activated abilities of each other creature with a +1/+1 counter on it. You can tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Saison, Perverter of Truth. I kind of like this guy. He's real big. Remove 6 +1/+1. I could go on the Shrine plan. This guy. We're gonna take that guy. Ooh! Marchesa Wield! Sweet. Alright, so Marchesa. Dethrone other creatures you can control have dethrone whenever this creature attacks the player with the most or tied for the most life. Put a 1/1 counter on it. Other creatures you control have dethrone when a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter dies. Makes me kind of wish I would take an Experiment Crage, but whatever. Return it to the battlefield under your control. Okay, the next end step. Tap things. I think we take this guy. He seems powerful. Tapping at things is good. I will take Azuri, because Azuri combos with Sidisi. I'll take this Repeal, I suppose. Ooh, Sig Wield. Fantastic. Sig is pretty sweet in our deck. And Phage Wield? How are we gonna lose? Eladamri, Lord of Leaves. Alright, well that's going in the sideboard. This deck is sweet, you guys. Look at all the spells that we have. Mana. Tap all creatures without flying. So what you do is you attack with this guy and all your guys. And then what you do is you, tap all of their guys, and then they're like, well, what do I do now? Alright, so here we have options. There is a Blood Crypt. There's also a Talisman of Dominance. Hirobi is pretty cool, because you can use this guy to tap things and stuff. Haunted of Night's Reach seems reasonable. I think it's between, well, catch. Interesting. We could also take Azusa, I guess. I think it's between the Blood Crypt and the Talisman. And we might just want the Talisman. Like, Brain Bite seems sweet too, but we have a bunch of 4s. I'm gonna take the Talisman. So we have a Golgari Signet here. Elishnorn, Thrax, which is pretty sweet. Whenever a player sacrifices a creature, you put a +1/+1 counter on that guy. Niv Mizzet. Another big dragony dude. I think it's between Thrax and Golgari Signet, and since I think Thrax will wheel, we're gonna take the Golgari Signet. We want to ramp pretty hard, apparently. There is a Maga, Trader to Mortals. It enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters, and when it enters the battlefield, target player loses life equal to the number of 1/1 counters on it. We could take the Gilded Lotus, or the Dimir Signet, or even the Sacred Foundry. I don't have any fetch lands though, so Sacred Foundry is a little bit weird. I think I just take the Dimir Signet. We're just gonna keep on the rock plan. Alright, so there's a Nazami here. Molten Slag Heap. Oh, Heartless Hidetsugu. We missed out on the combo. Hidetsugu's second right was in the other pack. Let's see, is this a wizard? This is a wizard. That's not a wizard. This is a dragon. It's a minion. Is this a wizard? No. I could draw a bunch of cards. I think I just want to take Emrakul, though, because we're going to be able to cast Emrakul with this deck. Probably. So I could take, like, Frontier Bivouac, Temur Ascendancy, Stitcher Geralf, be pretty sweet. There's a fire diamond in this pack, which is another piece of ramp for us. Temur Ascendancy actually seems pretty cool. Like, creatures I control have haste. Yeah, let's give that a shot. Rescind. Minamo. Be pretty cool. We might just want Devour Flesh, though. Like, yeah, we're gonna take the Devour Flesh. Target player sacrifices a creature and then gains life equal to that creature's toughness. It's a removal spell. Probably, like, sort of. Azuri is not going to get a lot of counters, but I think it'll be good, actually. Like, put it on, like, Sidisi triggers it. Sig does, too. Sig can just be a giant. Okay, so here there is a Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger. Whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana of that to your mana pool of any type that land produced. Whenever an opponent taps a land for mana, that land doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. That's pretty cool. There's also Time of Need, which is basically Demonic Tutor in this deck, or in this format, I guess. But there's also Lawan, Cephalid Empress. When it enters the battlefield, return all blue creatures your opponents control to their owner's hands, and your opponents can't cast blue creature spells. It also combos with Aboshan. Yeah, let's take it. Let's see. Conflux. No, I'm not going to pay 8 mana for that. There's a Charcoal Diamond in this pack I could take. I think I just want a Sylvan Mountie, but that might not even be very good. Yeah, I guess I'll take the Charcoal Diamond. Could have taken Misdirection, didn't really want to. Well, we wield the Honden. I don't really want that. Boros Garrison's fine. Target creature you control. Okay, yeah, no. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna take the Honden. I was just making sure that Azuri couldn't target, like, their creatures, which would be funny. Here we're just gonna take Thrax. Thrax is sweet. Thrax is probably a good finisher. Given the risk, we're gonna take Phage and put it in the sideboard in favor of Thrax. I'm not sure if we're playing Honden yet. We'll put it in the sideboard for now, I guess. Depending on whether we get the one that lets you draw cards, I'd totally play that. This Emrakul might be a little ambitious. Alright, so there's a Hidetsugu's second right. But there's also a Maga Trader to Mortals, and that seems like it would be a really reasonable finisher. No, I don't want that card. Take the Woodland Cemetery. Thanks, though. Primeval Bounty is a good card. Alesha is not great in this deck. Jorkadine also not great in this deck. Primeval Bounty, however, might be pretty good. I'm just gonna take that Naturalize. And also this Basilisk Collar. Let's see. There is a Steam Vents, a Mind Slaver. Mind Slaver might be sweet. There's a Glissa in this set, which is pretty good. Regrowth also in this pack. I'm gonna take the Mind Slaver. Mind Slaver is a fun card for me. Alright, so there's a Basalt Monolith. which is a reasonable pickup, I think, in this deck. There's also a Flooded Strand, which can get an Underground Sea, and that's it. There's a Force Sea, scry 4, then draw a bunch of cards. There's also a Vampiric Tutor, though. Like, that seems like a reasonable pickup, too. But we're trying to cast Emrakul, probably, so I'll take the Basalt Monolith. That's fine. So there's Crush the Bloodbraided. Whenever another creature dies, you may put a bunch of counters on that guy, which seems really good. There's a Fiery Fall, Into the Royal, Door to Nothingness, which we're never actually activating. Yeah, we're gonna take Crush. Guy could be huge. That's fine. Let's see, there's a Putrefy in this pack, which I might need removal in this deck. I don't know yet. There's a Lugion, Scholar General. Grenzo's pretty sweet. So it's basically between Trop and Putrefy. I think I just want the Putrefy. Like, Trop is good. Deck's a little mana intensive, but Putrefy is important to make sure that we just don't like get wrecked. So alright, I'll take a Savage Lands. That is mana fixing. Card's pretty sweet. But yeah, we're just gonna take the Savage Lands as the most reasonable piece of mana fixing. Let's see, there's a Memnarch in this pack, there's a Ghoul Caller, Gissa, Huatuo, Marin, I think Marin could get insane, but do we just want Gissa? Yeah, we're gonna take Gissa because it's really good with the Zuri. Rush of Knowledge. It's a sorcery though. Jin Cataxius is actually a pretty reasonable play as opposed to Emrakul. I think we take him. There's also an Arcane Sanctum, but I don't really want to play that many, like, put that much stress on my mana base. Speaking of stressing my mana base, Grizbiz, Mr. Business. We could play Doubling Season, you guys. Carador's sweet too. Floodplain doesn't get anything. Volcanic Island is a reasonable piece of mana fixing. Oh, who am I kidding? We're taking the Doubling Season for sure. Look at how many lands we have. Just so many. Creatures I control have Horsemanship, aka are unblockable, versus Rocky Tar Pit, which can get a Taiga and an Underground Sea. There's also Prime Speaker Zagana, Mana Reflection. Yeah, I'll take the mana fixing. I still would like more mana fixing. Wow. So there's March, Vampiric Tutor, like Flooded Strand is in here too still. Like we're not going to take the Flooded Strand, probably. We're just going to take the Vampiric Tutor. But still, March of the Machines would be reasonable in the deck. Not great, but fine. Sure. Take that Rootbound Craig. Guess I take Miri. Miri's sweet. Yeah, I'll take a Wide Wind. That's fine. Fairy Wizard. This deck is sweet, you guys. Look at all the counters. Oh my goodness. I'll take the Huatuo. Ooh. Too bad I don't have any white mana fixing. Yeah, this deck is fantastic. And by that I mean, oh my goodness. So I think we put Luan in the sideboard. And also Saison. Not sure about this guy. Not sure about Mindslaver. So our deck is basically a combo deck, where what we want to do is play creatures, put counters on them, and kill them with, like, Maga, probably. We don't really want a wide win. So we have 26 creatures without our lands. Or 26 things without our lands. We want all these. Want this. Maybe Temur Ascendancy? Like, that's a reasonable cut. Like, these all say counters on them. And tokens. We'll cut a Boshan for now. And maybe Mindslaver. And then put these in. And then sort by converted mana cost. We don't want to cut too many creatures, mind you. Yeah, this deck is sweet, right? Sort by color. So we've got a couple red cards. How many red lands do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red sources. Yeah, 5 red sources. Blue. 2, 6, 7, 8. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue sources. 7. So we're good on red sources. That's settled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Oh wait, no, never mind. 2, 4, 6, 8. Is that 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm less worried about my black sources. And green sources, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so we're wanting more. Okay, we don't need that. We'll add another green. And cross our fingers. Is that how we do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Red sources for 4 cards. This is weird. This mana base is terrible. You're just terrifyingly bad. Cool. This deck is sweet. We're going all in on doubling season and seeing how it goes. I'll see you guys in round 1.